the recipient of the final award of the evening is Mark Rios, who is receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. A pioneer in the field of architecture and landscape architecture, Mark sees the two disciplines as inseparable. He has built his firm Rios to imagine, design, and I will take a shh from the back right now, thank you so much, to imagine, design, and build complete environments. Mark's vision for a transdisciplinary practice has led to quite a diverse portfolio of projects, ranging from public parks and plazas to city-shaping districts, as well as private gardens, furniture, and even products. His projects have been widely published and have received numerous awards, including an AIA Los Angeles Best of Millennium recognition. Mark received his Bachelor of Science in Architecture from USC and both Master of Architecture and Landscape Architecture degrees from that other school, Harvard University. Mark has demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to nurturing next-gen talent. He's taught at UCLA and at USC, where he also served as chairman of landscape architecture. His breathtaking accomplishments spanning 4 decades, redefining the boundaries of design and community, are truly deserving of a Lifetime Achievement recognition.
First and foremost, Mark is a creative intellectual. He blurred the boundaries early in his career. He combined landscape and physical architecture as equally important. And that was unique when he did it, and now it's kind of set a standard.
His firm has hundreds of professionals doing the most creative national and international design projects. He can translate his clients' aspirations, hopes, dreams into beautiful spaces, whether it's a commercial complex or whether it's a big city park or whether it's a small little guest house. Mark has a very expansive definition of design. Mark created a related company called Not Neutral, and it's fabrics, wall coverings, tableware. He's also created clothing. He's interested now in designing for the circus. This is what makes him such a broad-minded, talented individual.
It is more than interdisciplinary. It's also creating new disciplines. He brings the sensibilities of sustainability, of ecology, of being green, of what it means to be one with the earth. And he also has a much better instinct than most people on what works for the community and the surroundings beyond the individual project that he's working.
Let's take Grand Park in downtown Los Angeles, which is not only a landscape architecture project or a traditional architecture project, it completely merges both. A large commercial development that has office spaces and outdoor spaces, and many architects would do the office building, they would do the space planning and leave the outdoors to somebody else. Mark does the whole thing and thinks about the whole person, both inside the office and outside the office.
Today, while we're filming, the woman who runs this film crew said, "I am so thankful for Grand Park. I have a 15-year-old daughter who's a high school student who actually can go walk there and have a safe space after school with her friends." If that's not a contribution to our city and society, I don't know what is.
Certainly, Mark's best work is still yet to come.
So before we welcome Mark up to the stage, I'd like to share some exciting news. So Mark had yet another inspiring idea when he learned that he'd be receiving this award, and he asked us to create an endowed fund to support an annual speaker series, Crossing Design Borders. So many of his friends, colleagues, and clients have generously responded, and many of the contributors are gathered here. So thank you. And on a very personal note, it's with great pleasure that I invite Mark, someone who with his bold creativity, his expansive vision, perhaps most importantly, his generous friendship, has enriched my life immeasurably, and I know that I am not unique in expressing that sentiment. So please welcome Mark Rios up to the stage.
Wow, what a night. Thank you, Dean Willoughby, and the co-chairs of this amazing evening, Mark Motnaga and Robert Soto. And I want to just thank all the people in the Architectural Guild for this amazing work that you do. Just look at everybody here tonight. We are here to celebrate the creatives. We are here to celebrate all of you. I'm so happy to be joined tonight by my husband, Dr. Guy Ringler, our family and our family of friends, and by some of my really amazing Rios partners and colleagues, Jessamine, Mark, Bob, Aaron, Sabrina, Michelle, whose talent, work, and vision we jointly honor here tonight. Lifetime Achievement Award. It's a bit odd, don't you think? Lots of strange connotations, but certainly not the end. You just wait and see. Why am I being honored tonight as opposed to someone else? Have I done anything that's really special? Created some breathtaking thing or place? Well, that answer is for all of you to think about. I think I was selected to give you all permission and maybe a little inspiration to live a broader, nonlinear, and inclusive life. Don't stay in your lane. Be open to evolution. My life has always been about discovering and connecting, typically disassociated, many times obscure and weird information in effortless and joyous ways. I think I'm being honored tonight for being curious. In remembering my almost 50-year, oh my God, relationship with USC as a student and a faculty member, a department head, and a mentor, my years at USC included some of my really most inspiring memories, but I have to say some of my most painful memories too. Design studio was mind-opening. Classes in history, engineering, the arts made them all just totally come alive. Lifelong friendships and colleagues. USC gave me the opportunity to discover what my life could be. But I have to say there are also really painful memories from USC. Going through fraternity rush my freshman year, that was in 1974, and being told flat out over and over again, we don't have Mexicans in our fraternity. I got no invitations to pledge, none. I remember a senior vice president, after I got a huge award my junior year, and asking me if that evening I was gonna go home and have a taco dinner with my family to celebrate. Just as painful, I remember time after time, many really awful and hurtful comments about fags and gays and homos. During my first teaching job, I remember a faculty meeting where the hiring discussion were peppered with hesitations about the candidates' other lifestyle choices. At USC, I learned to stay closeted if you want to succeed. I am sure that all those experiences contributed to making me strong and to trust myself. And most importantly, I am so proud of the evolution of USC in the last 50 years. Why do I even bring all this stuff up tonight? I bring it up because we still need to fight. We all need to pave the roads and fight the battles for future generations to have more opportunities and freedoms. I've helped pave the road, and we all still need to fight today. It is our responsibility to fight. My strongest memories and my most grateful memories are about three individuals at USC. Emmett Wimple was my first-year studio instructor in architecture. Emmett Wimple was a landscape architect and one of the most significant in LA at that time. Although he taught the first-year architecture studio, what he really taught was design thinking. He sparred with the other architecture instructors. He was one of them, respected, a total equal. Unlike the typical hierarchical relationships between architects and landscape architects, that I would later learn was the norm in the design field. Architects on the top and landscape architects to subordinate and to help fulfill their vision. Emmett didn't stand for that. Emmett taught me that architecture and landscape architecture are completely inseparable, equal, interdependent design fields. I wish all of you had had a Dean Joan in your life. Joan Schaefer was the Dean of Women at USC, who I met my freshman year as a USC tour guide. Her office was an idea salon, where she was the gracious instigator and provocateur. She inspired all of us to dream really big. She taught me how to be a leader. She taught me to think strategically and passionately. She inspired generations after generations of USC students to exceed their every expectation, one student at a time. And then there was David Reinhardt. He was perhaps the best designer and certainly the best design instructor at the school. He had worked with a famous architect, Lou Kahn, for years. Lou called David his eyes. David was poetic about architecture. He made it all appear so simple and so self-evident. David was also the first openly gay person I had ever met. He was what we all would have called a quiet gay. No one knew, but everyone sort of figured it out. He gave me hope that I could have an integrated life as a gay man. David did not do anything more than being present. A different face, one that I could see myself in. The acts of single individuals inspired my life. Each of us, every one of us here tonight, has that power and responsibility to do that. It only takes one person to change someone's life. The very best thing about tonight, this award and everything, besides seeing all of you charming and beautiful people, is the opportunity to establish this new endowed annual lecture series at USC, based in the School of Architecture, called Crossing Design Borders. In conjunction with the USC Vision and Voices program, Crossing Design Borders will bring high-profile visionary leaders from across town and around the world with a range of expertise in design and architecture, equity and inclusion, the arts and culture, society and well-being, and sustainability and global trends to the USC campus to encourage transdisciplinary discourse and action. One person inspires one person. My dear Dean Joan, who I told you a little bit about earlier, gave me a book to read when I was a 19-year-old sophomore, which honestly has become a cornerstone for me. A spiritual, calming, holistic mantra. It was written by Mary Richards in 1962. Mary was a potter, a poet, and a centered person. I think she was really sort of a hippie. Mary writes, "The creative spirit creates with whatever materials are present, with food, with children, with building blocks, with speech, with thought, with pigment. We are not craftsmen only during studio hours, any more than man is wise only in his library or devout only in church. The material is not the sign of the creative feeling of life, of the warmth and sympathy and reverence which foster being. Techniques are not the sign. Art is not the sign. The sign is the light that dwells within those acts, whatever its nature or medium." And so I go back to where I started. Why am I being honored tonight? What's important about it? What does it mean? What do I symbolize for USC and possibly others? My name is Rios. I'm a proud gay man. I have never stayed in my lane. I'm standing up, being present tonight as an example of what USC can inspire and produce. diversity and openness. We all need to stand up and be present. And in speaking about standing up for diversity and openness, Rios, we are doing our small part by the establishment of Rios Plus, our new nonprofit arm to introduce the next generation of students in the local community to the world of design. And also, here's the big one, in the name of standing up for diversity and openness, I look forward to the USC School of Architecture evolving its name and its brand to represent an inclusive design school for all design disciplines, which I know it is far on its way to become. Tonight, we are all creative role models. Designers, writers, builders, lawyers, doctors, chefs, politicians, moms and dads, the young and the old, every one of us. It is a privilege for us to be creative people. There is light that dwells within each of us. I'd like to make a small request of every one of you tonight. Design every moment of your life. Live with artful intention. Tell the stories of your family and tell the stories of others. Notice and celebrate the smallest, most beautiful things you see in your daily life. But most importantly, bring joy to everyone. Thank you.